I've been wanting to talk about this ever since it started happening. And what I'm talking about is sleep paralysis. Now, the first time I ever had sleep paralysis, I think it was 2 years ago, if not 1 year ago. I remember, I think I was in Quebec and I was in a hotel room and I was sleeping on my back. And if you didn't know, I think that's most common way to get sleep paralysis, by sleeping on your back. What actually inspired me to make this video was last night I had sleep paralysis again, and I think this is my third, if not fourth time having sleep paralysis. And this is gonna sound really weird if you've never had sleep paralysis before. So today I kind of wanted to make this video to talk about my different sleep paralysis dreams. So I'm going to start with the one that I had last night. Here's the really weird thing though. In the past, when I've had sleep paralysis before last night, it's happened because I've been sleeping on my back. But last night I was sleeping on my side. So what ended up happening was, from what I can remember, I think I was at some kind of camp or something, like an overnight camp, like Girl Guides or whatever. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm not gonna say her name. Let's just call her Marie. So I was with Marie and we were talking. I don't know what we were talking about, but I remember that she was in a wheelchair or something, and I was, for some reason, like, I was right beside her. I don't know if I was like in the wheelchair with her or whatever. It was really weird. And while we were talking, something was pressing on my back. That was the sensation that I was getting. And if you've never had sleep paralysis, once again, this is gonna make no sense. This is gonna sound really strange. And the only way to really understand this is to have had sleep paralysis before and to know the feeling that you get. Because when you have sleep paralysis, you can feel, sometimes you feel pressure, sometimes you feel like you can't breathe, sometimes you feel trapped. You get all different kinds of sensations. I was getting this kind of pressing sensation on my back. It's really hard to describe, but I was feeling like something was pressing on my back. Then we were talking, and then the really strange thing I also want to add in about sleep paralysis is, most of the time, not all of the time that you have it, but majority of the time you have it, you are in the same room. So if you're sleeping in your bedroom and you have sleep paralysis, it's more often or likely to occur in your bedroom. So we were talking, and then suddenly I feel like I can't breathe. And this feeling, like, if you just like go like this and you try to breathe, it was like, that was exactly what I was hearing, and I could feel it. This is the scariest sensation I've had, is not being able to breathe. And so in my head I was thinking, do I have some kind of asthma? Do I have some kind of breathing condition, issue, problem, like respiratory issue? And I wake up and I go to my mom's room and I wake her up and I'm like, Mom, I can't breathe. Like I can't breathe. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, and I could, once again, I could feel this sensation. It was so terrifying. And I think this is by far the scariest sleep paralysis dream I've had yet. But that's just one of them. And then after, when I actually woke up, not just in the dream, when I actually woke up, I was laying on my side, like I said before. And I just opened my eyes and I was like, okay, I can actually breathe. And I don't know if I'm gonna add it in, but I woke up and I grabbed my phone and I recorded this entire dream that I had. I just recorded everything I remember happening, and and now I want to talk about the second time I've had sleep paralysis. No, actually, I think I'm gonna go the first and then the second. So I think this is the next most terrifying sleep paralysis dream I've had, and this happened in a hotel room in Quebec City, I think. Yeah, I was in Quebec City, I was in a hotel room, and I was sleeping on my back. So the way this dream went was, I was laying down and I was just looking up, and I could just see everything in my hotel room. So I can't exactly remember what happened in the dream, because I think before you have sleep paralysis, you have some kind of strange, weird dream going on, and then you start to get the sensation of being suffocated, feeling trapped. But in this case, I woke up, but I didn't actually wake up. And then I woke up again, and again, and again, and again and again. It was just a repetitive cycle of waking up once again, again. And the really scary thing about this is when you have sleep paralysis, it feels very real. If it was really happening or if I was just dreaming, I couldn't tell. So I kept thinking in my head, I was like, oh my God, I can't wake up, I can't wake up, I can't wake up. And then I finally wake up in real life. And it really freaked me out because in this dream, I was just stuck in time and I couldn't wake up. But I feel like the sensation of waking up repetitively without actually waking up is terrifying. I felt like time was frozen. And another thing I want to add about sleep paralysis is that when it happens, it feels like it goes on forever. When you're actually in the dream, like yourself, it feels like it goes on. It can go on. I think it can go on for as long as it goes on. And sometimes you're able to wake up out of it. Sometimes you can like wriggle your toes, but other times you can't, and you just have to let it happen, and you have to just let your body wake you up. I woke up, I went to the bathroom, I just sat in the darkness, and I just thought, am I actually in reality? Like, have I actually woken up? Or is this just my dream? So now I want to talk about the third dream I've had, even though this is actually the second dream. This one is really, really strange, but it's equally as scary as the other two I've told you about. I'm going to read this off of my notes because I have been recording these dreams because I feel like they're really interesting to look back to. This sleep paralysis dream happened on April 16th, and I recorded this at 9:27 in the morning. This hasn't happened to me in months. The last time it happened, I was traveling to Quebec City. I had sleep paralysis again, but this time it was 10 times worse. I remember I went to a party and the guy I was hanging out with looked a lot like, let's just say, his name is Jason. I'm not going to actually say the person's name. And we were at some kind of party. And we were partying and having fun and kind of flirting a little bit. I also remember going on some kind of road trip with Alyssa's family. I don't remember much with them, but we were driving at night. I don't know why I was there, but I felt happy to be taking a break from making videos. Next thing I know, I was in my room, on the floor beside my bed, and all I remember is there was an Apple update I installed on my phone. I was listening to some music or watching a TikTok or something like that, but then my phone started glitching. I was trying to do something with it, but it was glitching and it wouldn't let me. I was listening to some kind of song when it started glitching along with my screen. Two hands put, even though I couldn't see a face, I think they were wearing some kind of mask. It was just hands. The hands were around my head and shoulders. It felt like it had been going on forever and that no matter how hard I tried, I would never wake up. The last thing I remember was getting annoyed by this glitch happening before reading about it happening to everyone. I turned my phone off entirely and decided to head downstairs in the dark and put it on the kitchen table. And then I woke up. It's 1:36 in the morning on Thursday, April 11th, 2024. Then I wrote some details I remember. So I remember my mom and dad along with my cousin being there, but they weren't physically there. I just kind of knew in my head that something I immediately noticed was how light I felt. I lifted my right hand up to look at it and feel it. I felt so incredibly light. But yeah, I really just posted this video because I've been needing to get this off of my chest. I've been wanting to record this kind of a video since my first sleep paralysis dream back in Quebec City. It just felt so surreal and weird and strange and real, like it was really happening. That's mainly, I think, the main thing that scares a lot of people with sleep paralysis is you don't know that you're dreaming. It just feels very realistic. But that is it for today's video. I don't really know how to end this. If you enjoyed this video, I guess leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!